Look at this city, Neo-Viridia. From a distance, she's a jewel of neon and glass, a testament to human ambition. But when you get closer, down past the high-rises and into the forgotten veins of the alleyways, you see the truth. The rain here doesn't wash the dirt away. It just makes it slick. For years, this city has been bleeding, picked apart by crime and corruption, while the powerful look down from their penthouses. Safe and indifferent, they thought the darkness belonged to them. They were wrong. Out of that same darkness, something new has emerged, a counterforce, a silent guardian, draped in matte black tactical armor that absorbs the night itself. Look closely. Can you see the faint, pulsating glow? Those are cyan veins, low-intensity energy conduits woven into the very fabric of the suit. This is Aegis, and his arrival is usually heralded by a singular, violent release of kinetic energy. Witness this moment captured in time. Aegis lands in a powerful three-point stance. He doesn't just arrive, he impacts. Watch as that energy expands, a visible translucent shockwave blasting out from his touch, crumpling a metal dumpster and sending a thief flying backward. This is the moment Neo-Viridia began to fight back. While Aegis fought in the shadows, the upper crust of Neo-Viridia celebrated their own perceived security. They gathered at the opulent mayor's gala, champagne flutes in hand, safe behind floor-to-ceiling glass and private security details. They were celebrating the debut of the Echo Core, a breakthrough in clean energy. They thought they had harnessed the future. But the future, when it arrived, was not polite. The high-pitched whine was the first warning, a sound that vibrated the very air within their lungs. Then came the violent, shattering explosion, not from a bomb, but from sound itself. Look at the visual devastation captured here. The towering windows burst outward, raining crystal onto the street. Through that gap stepped Dr. Aristhorn. No, Thorn was dead. This was Resonance. Look at that streamlined, silver metallic armor. The private security, trained to face bullets and blades, were useless against this new threat. Observe the distortion in the air. That is a concentrated ripple of sonic energy emanating from his gauntlets. Resonance point a hand, and men are blasted backward like dry leaves. He didn't come to negotiate. He came to turn up the volume until the city's foundation cracked. But who is the man inside the black armor? Neo-Viridia has no idea that their guardian spends his days covered in grease and frustration. Kalen Vance, a struggling mechanic, is shown here from behind, submerged in complex, mechanical guts of an aged sedan. His life is a stark contrast of noise and mess. Screws, gears, and the constant smell of motor oil. But in this run-down auto shop, illuminated by harsh overhead fluorescent lights, he finds a center. This is where he and his partner, Maya Lin, refine the protocol. Observe Maya, a sharp-featured young woman who is the intelligence behind Aegis. She sits on a stool, not with a standard tablet, but with a holographic interface that projects complex biokinetic readouts. Look closely at projection. It's a wireframe schematic of the very armor Aegis wears. They are shown refining the kinetic absorption rates, calculating the stress on Kalen's body. This is a crucial, quiet moment, highlighting the human element behind the power. Without this work, without Maya's engineering, Kalen is just a battery waiting to explode. The escalation was inevitable. Resonance wanted the world to hear him, and Neo-Viridia, with its towering communication arrays, was the perfect megaphone. We now witness the critical confrontation on the massive, concrete rooftop of the Apex Industries building. The aesthetic here is grand, a sprawling urban battlefield high above the glowing cyberpunk city. Following the setup, Aegis, in his matte black armor, stands ready. Opposite him, positioned near a large satellite dish, is Resonance in his silver sonic suit. Behind Resonance, a complex, partially constructed sonic amplification array looms, his weapon for global broadcast. The scale is immense, and the tension is palpable as the two forces prepare to clash. They are two ideologies in conflict, two masters of vibrational energy, finally meeting on a stage set for devastation. The entire city skyline is spread out far below them, a sprawling witness to the fight that will determine its fate. This image freezes the moment before the storm, a visual promise of the battle to come. The fight was not dynamic leaps and elegant blows. Resonance unleashed a weapon Kalen's armor was never designed to absorb. Look at this excruciating moment captured in a tight close-up. Resonance directs a powerful, focused sonic blast. Not a quick burst, but continuous, unrelenting sub-bass frequency. We observe the failure of the kinetic absorption system. Aegis's armor is shown pulsing violently, but the cyan glowing veins are rapidly turning a bright, volatile, unstable crimson red. Resonance doesn't just hit, he vibrates. Aegis is frozen mid-action, dropped to his knees, his entire biokinetic structure failing under the onslaught. We can almost hear the low-frequency hum vibrating Kalen's muscle tissue apart. The integrated acoustic dampening panels Maya had rushed into the suit provide little relief. This is critical kinetic overload. Aegis isn't being beaten. He is being liquefied. This image is a definition of visual and physical stress. The breaking point of the hero. Aegis had to flee or die. What followed was a desperate, chaotic retreat, the details of which are vividly captured here. Kalen had to make a choice. If he stayed, the vibration would kill him. If he left, Resonance would have free reign. Kalen chose survival, but it was not elegant. We observe the chaotic energy transfer. Aegis, with his crimson-red overload patterns, throws himself off the edge of the high-rise rooftop. He tumbles out of control, not falling gracefully, but bouncing violently down a dilapidated metal fire escape. Look at the visceral detail. Sparks fly as his armored body crashes into the rusted metal railings and stairs. We see the blurry motion of the fall. He is breaking his own bones just to escape the sonic field. Below him, the rainy Neo-Viridia alleyway seen earlier is visible, emphasizing the terrifying distance he has traveled just to survive this first, devastating encounter. It was a humiliating defeat, but it was the only way forward. Back in the auto shop, the air was thick with smoke and desperation. Maya worked with focused intensity that Kalen had rarely seen. Observe this intimate close-up set inside their cluttered hideout. Kalen stands watching, still injured, as Maya uses a welding torch, the sparks flying and reflecting off the internal tech exposed in the suit's chest piece. What is she doing? Maya is found actively welding gray, porous, sound-dampening acoustic foam panels onto the sublayer of the Aegis armor. This is a new protocol. Maya Lin, brilliant engineering grad student, developed a way to filter the constant, low-frequency sound. It was crude, it was heavy, and it would restrict Kalen's movement, but it was the only solution. Look at the detail of the foam. It's a physical, tactile representation of the strategy. This wasn't just fixing a machine. It was armor for Kalen's very cells. They were preparing for round 2, and Maya was making sure Kalen would have more than 30 seconds. The news of the explosion at Apex Tower had spread. Neo-Viridia watched, terrified, as the broad, high-altitude perspective of this image shows a news helicopter hovering against a sparse daylight sky. The world was watching. But Kalen Vance was finished with shadows. We witnessed the beginning of his final play. Aegis is shown plummeting from the helicopter, dropping directly toward the massive Apex Industries broadcast spire. He has to time it. Look at the integrated textured acoustic dampening panels, seen clearly on his suit now. Crude, effective patches. He is committed. Far below, Resonance is visible as a tiny figure near the satellite dish array seen earlier. This image creates a stunning sense of vertigo and high tension. There is no second chance. He has to hit the spire perfectly, or he falls to his death. This is the ultimate, gravity-defying leap of faith. Aegis lands on the spire. He ignores Resonance. His final directive is simple: silence the noise. We now witness the epic low-angle landscape of the climax. Aegis is shown completely overloaded. The crimson-red patterns have completely taken over his entire suit. Maya's dampeners are holding his cells together, but the kinetic stress is at critical. He is screaming, not in rage, but in agony. We see his fist driving into the Echo Core battery, which is now wired directly into the satellite dish array. Kalen doesn't try to break the core. He reverses the flow. He uses his entire overcharge by kinetic reserve to push his power into the core. The reaction is cataclysmic. A massive, silent, expanding visual shockwave, blending bright blue and crimson kinetic energy, erupts. It shatters the sparse daylight clouds, a silent testament to the release of almost infinite power. It is a moment of total, annihilating sacrifice. Silence, at last. The explosion was felt throughout Neo-Viridia. In the silence that followed, the search began. This final image brings us back to Earth, a concrete rooftop pool deck during the daytime, overlooking the city that had nearly been lost. We observe Detective Reyes, a woman with a focused expression, wearing a dark police windbreaker, crouching near the pool edge. Look at her hand. She is carefully bending down to pick up a single cracked piece of matte black tactical armor plating. It is the exact material we have seen Aegis wear. Our final view focuses on this broken fragment, a single thin cyan energy vein, like those we saw in the very first image, is still embedded within the fragment. For a moment, it flickers faintly. Then, as the light hits it, the last trace of energy dims, and then it dies. Silence has returned to Neo Viridia, but at what cost? And what new protocol will emerge from the broken pieces left behind?